Klyx Games is returning with a bang to kick off Season 2. But before we begin, we'd like to introduce you to the friendly new face we found lurking around the dome over the break. Celeste. We're not really sure of its origins, but hey, it has a cute little crystal inside it, and it seems friendly so far. Anyways, it's been over 3 months since our last event, so we have a boatload of changes to share with you. Starting off with some general changes, the UI has been overhauled throughout the whole event. You can now see all of the useful event information right on your screen. We've also completely overhauled the scoreboard design, which now has a cool new custom background that updates based on your team colour. Now, onto the voting dome. The voting area now shows all 8 games at once instead of the previous 4. And we can't talk about voting without talking about the voting minigame, or Fuel Frenzy as we're calling it from now on. The game has a new twist. Before voting begins, a random modifier has a chance to activate, and these modifiers may have a positive or negative impact on your survival and fuel collection. Additionally, lapis blocks can now be found scattered around the dome. Breaking them will give you a vote remover trident, which, as the name suggests, can be used in voting and will remove votes from the game you throw it at.
That's enough of the general updates. Let's head right on into the game changes. Starting with Freeze Tag, which will debut a new map located on the concrete compound. Confuse the hunter by going up bubble elevators or speed away on the blue ice. This map is incredibly versatile and will give the hunters a run for their money chasing down the runners. Speaking of hunters, freeze balls have received a slight change. Instead of instantly right-clicking to throw the freeze ball, hunters now have to draw back their freeze ball like a bow. Careful though, just like said bow, failure to draw the ball all the way back will give you a weak shot. To accommodate this change, the freeze ball cooldown has decreased to 12 seconds. Moving on to Parkour Champion, you'll be racing through some old favourites, along with some new maps. Parkour Champion has also had a global difficulty reduction, giving more players the chance to complete the final round. Along with these changes, we're putting more emphasis on the race part of the game mode from here on, with faster hard paths being marked in red blocks away from the normal paths.
Speed Bingo has received a drastic quality of life change, as you now have a map of your bingo card in your offhand, and you can press your offhand key to open up the full bingo card GUI like before. Souls will be returning to its dark and spooky roots, with the entire map being covered in skulk. The loot pool for this map will contain the following new custom items: wither balls, similar to snowballs, wither generators, glow grenades that now break blocks, and heal eggs. Players will now begin each round with a weakened crossbow, and you can find arrows in chests, but in small amounts, and they're quite rare. Another change has been made to punish mosh pitting at the end of the game. Once there is one team left alive at the end of the round, the remaining players will now have to manually bank their souls before the game ends, instead of the game automatically banking all of the remaining alive players. This means that if the remaining players die trying to bank their souls, the souls will not bank at all, and they will miss out on coins. Additionally, due to confusion between normal and remote banking, we've decided to remove the remote banking.
Now, we all know how hype the final duelist animation is right now. However, it has been made even more epic from this event forward, so keep your eyes out for the epic new animation. Shrine will be receiving 2 new additions to the game in this event. The first addition is Damage Surge, where if either team fails to deal enough damage within a given time, Jimothy will strike all the duelists down and close the border even faster. The second addition is Critical Bow Hits, where if players are shot at a distance of 20 meters or more, 2 hearts of damage will be dealt instead of just 1 heart.
Now, let's move on to the game reworks. Swift Builders has received a massive rework for the new season, where instead of 7 rounds with 1 build each round, the format has been changed to 3 rounds, with each round consisting of 3 builds that each team has to complete consecutively. Your team will also receive 2 islands, a building island and a build reference island. At the end of each round, every team will gain points based on how fast they could complete each build, and the fastest to complete all of the builds for a total round will receive more bonus points. Shatterpoint has also received a slight rework. Players are no longer eliminated when killed in Shatterpoint. Instead, your crystal takes 4 damage, and you will respawn after 7 seconds back at your crystal. If your crystal is completely shattered while you're respawning, or you run out of crystal health when killed, you will be eliminated from the round. Otherwise, the whole premise of the game is still the same. And of course, the 2 games that everyone's been waiting for. Let's start off with The Cube, the game that debuted at the end of Klyx Games Scuffed. The game has received 1 new challenge since its original debut, named Mini Shootdown, alongside tweaks and new maps for other challenges.
Now, before we move on to the new game, you may have noticed that we have not mentioned any changes to color shuffle, and that is because we've decided to... No! Creepy! You may have noticed that we have not mentioned any changes to color shuffle, and that is because we've decided to bench the game for Klyx Games 5, as we begin to figure out what to do with the game in the future. Just so upsetting.
With the debut of this new season, we're introducing a new game, Infiltration. Complete missions down the Nebula Nexus or explore around the massive spaceship and search for crates and orbs. Infiltration is a dungeon crawler game where you are tasked with scoring as many coins as you can and ejecting from the ship before the ship explodes after 15 minutes. If you'd like to learn more, we'll be releasing an explanation video on how the game works after this video comes out. And that's all of the updates we're sharing for this video. We can't wait to be back for Season 2 of Klyx Games, and we hope you'll enjoy all of these awesome changes and reworks we've been working on. Klyx Games 5 goes live on the 3rd of August at 2 PM BST.